I'll now hand over to Richard Ver, Director of Development at the Abbeyfield Society. So Richard will be talking to us today about how you can institute changes that favour relational care in terms of the physical environment.
Great, thanks Verity. Today I'm going to be talking about architecture and building design. It's well known the impact that architecture has on our well-being. In fact, it's been known for many centuries. But what I'm talking about today probably goes beyond the palette of materials and the fixtures and fittings, and really talks about issues that affect how we live our lives, how our residents live their lives, how it impacts their behaviours and how it impacts the behaviours of those that they interact with. So by way as a bit of background, Jenny's research on this topic certainly predates the 2 years of research she's done for this particular book. Back, I think, about 2013, she conducted a large number of interviews and went to many homes, including many Abbeyfields across the country, and spoke to hundreds of people. And in 2014, produced a list of key design features that would provide this benefit to our residents and to the staff as well. Obviously, there's lots more detail in the book, but I'd like to just run through some of the main ones and talk about some of the experiences we've had in Abbeyfield as we've tried to integrate those as far as possible in the developments we've completed in the last 6 years. So the first one is having at least 2 communal rooms. We tend to find that often one communal room can be dominated by a television, which inherently will be set at a fairly high volume, which is not beneficial for social interaction. So, for example, our development up in Sunderland has 2 pretty large communal rooms, and one can be dominated by the television, the other one is much quieter. And certainly I understand that after supper, the gentlemen tend to retreat to the smaller room, except when the football's on, when it's the ladies who have to do the retreating. And then within those areas, to have those as a family-friendly environment, particularly for people who are welcome visitors and their own families, and in particular being able to offer them drinks and to have tea and coffee making facilities in there, which is essentially an extension of what people have done in their own homes all their lives. With regards to staff, I think we all know what an incredibly intense and people-centred job they do, and it's absolutely essential that they have a peaceful retreat. I know from one scheme that we did, we provided 2 staff areas, one in the front of house environment and one back of house. The front of house area is never used. If staff do use it, they're either interrupted or they sit there with a potential threat of interruption. But the back of house area is used all the time. They eat their meals there, they can chat, look at Facebook, have a cup of tea, but essentially get away and have a peaceful break. The next point is about avoiding long straight corridors, which obviously gets rid of that institutional feeling that everybody wants to get rid of, but also the corridors are an important part for interaction. A lot of conversations and chance meetings go on in those corridors, and so to be able to provide a place where people can stand and chat or even sit and chat is highly beneficial. And also those nooks and crannies can be turned into mini libraries, little seating areas, perhaps with a display of artwork or maybe some local artifacts. That's certainly what we did at a scheme in Bingley, where we found a lot of old artifacts relating to the cotton trade, which gives it a local vibe. The next 3 all relate to daylight and sunlight. And I think everybody knows the importance of sunlight on our well-being. Also manufacture of vitamin D, and in particular relating to circadian rhythm. So firstly, access to outside space. Always have access to outside space, and it is equally important in its design as it is internally as well. But obviously we have the issues of British weather, And also we have the issues that some residents require a particular level of care. So in addition, providing a garden room lets people have an experience of the outside without going outside. It always tends to be a great focal point in the home. And it always intends to be a really happy place as well. And then finally, having good lighting, views, and a high level of glazing in communal areas, particularly the dining room and the lounge. And really these days, with the acoustic and thermal efficiency of glass, there's absolutely no reason not to do that. So, I mean, I found in my years in this sector that people will often say, well, it's not about the building, it's about the people. And I echo the sentiment. However, that does miss the importance of the built environment in how we and our residents live their lives. Essentially, form does follow function. Great. And thank you, Jenny, for the last few years. It's been fascinating and fun in equal measure. Thank you.